All right, while they're dealing with that issue, let's bring in our expert this hour, national trial attorney Michael Jaafar. Michael Jaafar, let's first talk about everything that happened outside the presence of the jury. You already heard me say I thought the judge was professional, but he was well-read and he was aggravated. The defense attorney just kept going and going. On the other hand, the job of the defense attorney is to zealously advocate for their client, and I believe that's what he was doing. What do you make of the fact that the motion to dismiss, because the defense attorney is saying, listen, this expert is now talking about things that I had no notice of in spite of there being a deposition. The judge disagreed, cited case law, referred to the deposition. What do you think of the judge's decision ultimately to say, denied, I am not dismissing this trial, move ahead?
I agree with the judge's decision for two reasons. Number one, so I'm sorry, Judge, actually, I can't hear, getting an echo.
Oh, we may be having... okay. Try again?
No, yeah. Okay, so I agree with the judge's decision for two reasons. Number one, the judge himself, wow, he impressed me. He knew the case law, he read the case law, he understood all the case law. He was able to come in. Many judges are not as prepared as well as this judge. So I agree with the judge's decision on the law. I agree with the judge's decision that, hey, I gave you the opportunity, I told you to do this deposition to protect your client, and then you did the deposition. She was addressing certain questions that you had, but on top of all that, what you're asking for, the sanction you're asking for, is the most extreme sanction, and by Third Circuit law, I can only give it if there's no other remedy available. There's so many other remedies available, so I completely disagree with you. I agree with the judge, and by the way, while I was watching that, all I kept thinking was, imagine Sarah Boone trying to do this trial by herself. There's no way any citizen is capable of doing any of this without an attorney. And also, one more thing, our colleague, Mr. Owens, he really has acquitted himself well in this trial. He has really built his practice. I know he's on the back end of his career, but he has really acquitted himself well. I'm sure his phone is ringing off the hook now with people watching this and seeing how capable he is.
I agree with all of your points. And to your point that the judge did give other options, remedies, he said, I gave you 2 times, not just to depose the expert, but to depose that expert during this trial. That was an adequate remedy. You chose not to. I'm not going to go to the more severe remedy of a dismissal. All right, stand by, Michael. We need to take a break. All right, they're approaching the bench, so I want to bring back in Michael Jaafar. Michael, why is this so important to the defense? Because this witness is saying she diagnosed her with adjustment disorder, not general anxiety disorder. Why is that important?
It's very important, because at the end of the day, the general anxiety disorder would basically speak to the fact that why she never, everything in this case comes down to why she didn't unzip the suitcase. None of the behavior led to the murder of Jorge Torres except for her not unzipping the suitcase. So what they're trying to do is give the jurors insight as to why she made that decision and whether or not it was a justifiable decision. If Owens is not able to break down the credibility of this witness, then the jury will go into the box thinking that she was well adjusted. She made that decision and she had a culpable mind. Because in Florida, even manslaughter requires some state of culpability, and so they're trying to get into the mind of Sarah Boone and to see whether or not she made a culpable act or a self-defense act. And even if she made a self-defense act, was it justified? Would a well-adjusted person have reasonably believed that Jorge Torres was going to bounce out of the suitcase if she unzipped them and murdered them? So all of this matters. Her state of mind is this case. So it all matters. And he's doing a fantastic job.
Yep, and the only reason it could be unintentional or accidental is if the jury is considering involuntary manslaughter. We don't yet know what the charges are going to be, so there's a lot up in the air still. The sidebar is over. Let's get back into court.